So the other reason that we're here this morning is our breakfast with our boss. Today we are joined by Kelly Marchand of the Healing Garden Cancer Support Center. In a world where men are 50% likely and women are 30% likely to be diagnosed with cancer, we are fortunate to have a resource like the Virginia Thurston Healing Garden Center in our community. Their mission is to enhance the quality of life for all those affected by cancer. Certainly something that I didn't think about when my mother was diagnosed over 2 years ago. So without further ado, I invite to the stage our interviewer extraordinaire, Jason Cowby, from Cowby Communications. One microphone, you're going to have to either share or talk loud.
Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning.
I can speak loudly. Can you hear me better?
Yeah.
Be able to be okay with that? Questions don't matter, the answers matter. I was a reporter who used to say there are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. Right, Joanne?
Right.
That's right.
No pressure.
No pressure at all. Good morning.
Good morning.
What a great topic. This being October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And Chief Deal has backed out and the requisite pain. Thanks for being here, and congratulations to all of our recipients this morning. So why don't we start off with you introducing us to the Healing Garden. Just give us an overview of what it is.
Sure. So the Healing Garden is an integrative cancer support center. We serve clients at any stage of diagnosis, men, women, and their caregivers, and those bereaved of cancer. So we introduce clients to the opportunity to take part in support groups, programs and services like meditation, yoga, qigong. Also, we offer individual counseling, so we can support clients in that regard, and integrated body work. So we offer a variety of services like acupuncture, massage, manual lymphatic drainage, Reiki, and shiatsu. So they can come to the Healing Garden, access those services, or we have a network of business associates in the local area, and they can go to their private office as well.
Dare I ask what the drainage is?
Manual lymphatic drainage, so that is something that typically post-surgery patients engage with a physical therapist. It's covered by their insurance. It can help with the lymph if they've had lymph nodes removed. Usually they max out on their insurance. So at the Healing Garden, we offer a sliding scale for those sessions, so they're able to continue having that service as it supports them in their post-surgery recovery.
Right. So in the Healing Garden itself, we call it the Healing Garden. What is the facility?
So it's very beautiful. If you haven't been, I suggest you come by for a tour. But we are located on about 2.5 acres in Harvard. We are surrounded by lovely gardens that, with the help of volunteers and master gardeners, help us to maintain. So we really try to offer a space that's not a hospital setting. So when people come for a visit, they come for an appointment, it's a different feel than visiting a hospital. They thankfully are, when we were founded, we were gifted the land. Virginia Thurston was a master gardener, so her gardens are still intact and you can walk those gardens. So the inspiration is really to allow clients the opportunity to immerse in nature in a beautiful setting along with these supportive services.
And since you mentioned how did that come about as a gardener? How did it then?
Sure. So in the 90s, Virginia Thurston was a Harvard resident. The original Thurston property is down the driveway from us. So she had a breast cancer diagnosis. She was probably considered a forward thinker, a little ahead of her time, and the support she engaged with at that time. She had a massage therapist. She was part of a support group. Acupuncture was part of her routine. So as she progressed through her diagnosis, her husband built her meditation garden that she could have a place of peace and a quiet place to meditate. That garden still is beautifully maintained by our neighbors. You can visit that when you're at the Healing Garden. But after she passed, her husband and her support group leader, Betsy Tyson-Smith, really wanted to make those supports available to other people. So Bill donated the in-law cottage at that time, and Betsy was the support group leader, a licensed social worker. So together they founded the Healing Garden. Initially, it was just for breast cancer clients. In 2012, they did change the mission for any cancer diagnosis. But Ginny was in local politics, a master gardener. She was really a large part of Harvard. So we still meet people to this day that were connected with her, and she really left an impact. So.
And why only cancer? Not the only terminal illness out there. It's,
Great. Yeah. I think, we started with breast cancer. That was the focus that our founders had. I think what we offer can support any person at any point in their life through, stress management, nutrition, exercise. Those are kind of the 3 areas we like to support clients in. But I think cancer is an area where they're often at the hospital, their oncologists can focus on those treatment sides of it, and we can support the other side. So if they are struggling with, how do I return to work? How do I talk to my children about this? What does end-of-life planning look like? Those are supports that we can offer where they may not get that at the hospital. Or there's just, the hospital can offer it, but they're so overburdened that this is a place that they can take the time and offer it separately from those visits. We've had clients say, I don't want to bring all this home and dump it on my spouse, but I can come here and process that. So it really provides a community of support.
because that was going to be my next question. Like, what, I'm sure here is someone touched by cancer. But what is it about cancer that's, aside from getting chemo or the treatment, what else does it do mentally or stress? How do you deal with it?
Right, so I think, stress is obviously increased anxiety. There's existential questions, how it, once they complete treatment, what does my life look like after this? How do I go back to the things I used to do? People recognize the change. And we see a lot of clients in post-treatment, so they have a lot of support when they're in treatment. They are seeing their oncology team weekly. They may have radiation every day. They have those supports. They're seeing people. They have people giving them rides to their treatment. Then when they hit that post-treatment phase, everybody goes, oh, you're good. You're post-treatment. This is great. So their supports are now lacking. And now they're faced with, what does this look like going forward? So we can really support them in those questions. We've had clients call and talk to our licensed social worker and say, I need to talk to my boss about returning to work or adjusting my schedule. Can you help me process that? I need to, meet with palliative care or hospice. Can you make some referrals for that? So it's these supportive services that allow people the opportunity to talk through it before they have to go have those bigger
Yeah,
conversations.
and you mentioned the licensure. How big a staff you have? What's our cases and volunteers?
So
People who've been through cancer. I guess it's a new journey for everyone, right?
Absolutely. So we're a staff of 8. We have 4 full-time employees, 4 part-time. We have 3 clinical staff members that run our support groups, offer individual counseling, run some of our programming. We have a part-time development team, a finance person, and an integrated care coordinator that kind of manages all of those pieces together. We have a group of business associates of about 35 to 40. So those are the people that offer our classes. They do the body work. And then a pretty substantial volunteer group. So as a small nonprofit, there are a lot of pieces we can't always get to. So the grounds is a piece where we really rely on people to come help us, IT support, you name it, we'll try to find a volunteer to help us with it. So we're really lucky.
You mentioned that Mrs. Thurston was a pioneer in this program. And that wasn't that long ago, the 90s, right? So what has changed, and why do you think it's changed that maybe mainstream medical has come to appreciate what you do?
So I think we're lucky to be in this geographic region. So at MGH, there's the Benson Henry Institute for mind-body medicine. So they study, they teach about the effects of stress on the body. There's John Kabat-Zinn, who was a leader in mindfulness-based stress reduction. So really studying the effects of what stress can do to a person physically. So the mindset is there, and so I think that helps with what we do. It's not so foreign in this area, but it is coming along. all the hospitals are trying to have integrative supports available, which is great, but not everybody wants to go back to the hospital where they have their treatment or they have their surgery. So we offer an opportunity that's different from that.
Right. And part of it, this is repetitive, but it's hypothetical I'm interested in. So you take two cancer patients, they're equally the same in terms of their diagnosis and prognosis. One goes to you and one doesn't get that kind of service. What do you think is going to be the benefit to the person who gets your service? And what's going to happen to the person who doesn't?
Right. You can't really say. I think everything is different, but I do think we offer a community of support. Like I said before, they can walk in to that support group. They see these people twice a month. It really builds their community. They bring different issues forward. I think we've had post-treatment people that really use us for years. It becomes part of their schedule, their calendar. We have metastatic clients that meet twice a month, and their families know that's a non-negotiable on my calendar. I will be at my support group. So that really is so special to be able to offer. And now through the virtual offerings, we've shifted some of our support groups to Zoom through the pandemic. We're serving people longer. So typically if they were declining in health, they would have to, move away from their support group. They couldn't get to the healing garden anymore. Now they're on Zoom and they're connecting. Some are from the infusion chair, some are from, the hospice house. And they can maintain that community. So having that support for that long term, I really do think makes a difference. And having access to some additional education pieces like nutrition or exercise, stress reduction, those are all pieces that for anyone is helpful, but for a cancer client is really helpful to work on those things, maintain that for the best outcomes.
So the pandemic sort of forced you to pivot to online, right?
Yes.
To telecoms. And how do you maintain?
We have, it was a quick pivot. I think our clients really pushed us. We were shutting down, and we're looking at an immune-compromised group saying, how are we going to continue to support them? So they really pushed us. They said, we don't want to miss our support group. We want to see our yoga instructor. So we quickly got on Zoom. We had practice sessions. We would bring in providers and clients, anybody that wanted to practice, so they could still have that access. It has increased our utilization, so it's doubled the amount of new clients we have seen over the years. Over year, 70% increase in our utilization from pre-pandemic numbers. So having that accessibility and access has been huge. Last year we served almost 450 clients from 128 towns in Massachusetts. So where previously it was probably Central Mass, or in Harvard, we would serve the bulk of our clients from those close communities, and now we can reach out a little bit further and have that accessibility.
So let's get into some of the nitty-gritty. How do we pay for all this?
We are fully funded by philanthropic support and grants. So we do not accept insurance. All of our programs and support groups are free to clients. The only point of expense for a client would be the body work, which our business associates graciously offer on a sliding scale. So between $30 and $75, clients can access a 1-hour massage or acupuncture session. We do have a subsidized fund where they can't afford that, they can pay $5 for a session, and then we subsidize from that fund. Through the pandemic, it was really a commitment to continue offering these services at no charge so people could access it. So we work really hard with our development team. I have our Director of Donor Engagement here today, Megan Simon. So it is all, hands on deck to do this fundraising and to really be seeking out grant support.
So you're a lot of grant writing events too?
We do.
Want to donate, we're going to go?
Absolutely.
Right here.
We do.
Jackson Venmo.
Yeah, exactly. We do 2 larger events each year, so we are in the midst of doing our perennial walk ride. It's a virtual, you can choose to walk or ride any place at your own pace, however far you want to walk. And then we invite people on October 15th to come to the Healing Garden and celebrate their fundraising. And then in the spring, we do a gala at the Nashoba Family Library in Bolton.
Now, for those of us who aspire to someday be a boss, how did you get to be the boss?
Sure. Well, I have been with the Healing Garden for 8 years. I started out in the administrative management side, managing the programs and services, and then last year transitioned into a director role. So it's really a place that's near and dear to my heart. I think having so much institutional knowledge and the program, history has been helpful in this role. I have an amazing team that, as well is very connected to the mission. So I think that makes it.
Where did you start out?
Sure.
In school?
Yeah.
Ever envisioned it? This is where you going
Yeah, no. So I grew up in Erin Shirley. I went to Air High School. I went to school at Worcester State, so I am local. I've raised my kids in this area, so I feel it's really important and an honor to work at such a beneficial organization in the area and support local, local population.
So when you leave here today, what's your day look like? What's a day look like for you?
Well, I think one of the great benefits of this job is it always looks a little different. So today I have a grant meeting, I have another finance meeting, I staff a few different committees on the board. So it could be committee work, it could be donor lunch. We are actively doing a project in the garden, so it could be meeting with contractors. So I was joking with someone earlier, if you saw behind my desk, there's sneakers, Birkenstocks, and rain boots. So for whatever meeting or trek through the garden that I'm doing, I'm prepared. So it's always looking a little different, but it is really exciting to have that vast interaction with all parts of the organization. So that really feels fulfilling to me.
And you talk about filling the, you think back of the folks that you call us, just think some of the reaction on your clients.
Yeah, it's amazing. We recently, I met with a client and she probably came into the Healing Garden within the first few months that I was there. And she said, Kelly, I still remember you picking up the phone and just letting me talk through what I needed to talk through. And she's still engaging services 8 years later and giving back. She's serving on her advisory council. So I think that's a nice aspect. But we've seen the gamut of people. I had a client come in one time and say, can I just scream? Can I scream? And I looked around and I said, no, nobody's here, go ahead, go for it. And to have that release and to have that safe space where she felt like she could do that, I think is really amazing. We have supported clients through so many different things in their life. It really is just such a wonderful feeling. When I was, starting at the Healing Garden, I said to my mom, am I going to cry every day? Is this like this sad, too intense role? And I don't. It's a good day when people visit the Healing Garden. They are thrilled. They always comment on how once they pull in the driveway, a calmness comes over them. So to know that we can offer that to people is really just amazing and special.
Thank you for all that you do. That's amazing. I want to open it up to questions. Sure. Yeah.
So, can I buy gift cards and give them to people I know and give them to donors? Like, how would I get friends and family to go rather than being in the hospital referral?
Absolutely. You can reach out to our care coordinator, Chris Berman, or our director of clinical care, Meredith Hobson. All their information is on our website. They can email them directly. And we ask clients, they do an initial visit. It's about 45 minutes to an hour with our director of clinical care. And in that visit, they just share where they're at, what they're looking to gain, and together they come up with a plan of what works for them. So it's individually mapped out. They can suggest things. They can say, I've never done counseling. Could I try a few sessions and see if that works for me? I'm nervous about a support group. Could you talk me through that? We even offer expressive art programs, so if someone isn't interested in the talk therapies, they could then, release some emotion or process some things through music or watercolors. So they are always welcome to give us a call, and they do not have to have a hospital referral.
Hi, Kelly. Thank you so much for sharing. So you talk about grants and you talk about volunteer. Could you speak a little bit about community partners and where you have benefited from or you would like to go?
Absolutely. So we right now offer a farm share. We're connected with the Community Harvest Project out of Groton. So we open up to clients. They can get 6 farm shares and nutritional classes through that. We do have some supporters throughout the community. We are always looking for volunteers from organizations. We've done the United Way Day of Caring, so groups can come out and volunteer in our garden. We have a corporate sponsor package that Megan is, I'm sure, happy to explain to people. But we're always looking for that community connection to allow, I think it's nice when groups can come and work in the garden and do a team building, and it also supports us.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Small token of appreciation for both Jason. Thank you. Well, thank you, Jason and Kelly. Lots of great information and such a valuable service that you provide for our community, so thank you. Before we wrap up, a few quick things. I would like to, of course, thank the team here at the Groton Inn for an amazing service, always above par. Thank you to Ashley from Groton Public Access for joining us and recording today's event. Thank you, Ellen. It definitely takes a village, and I appreciate her help in doing the interviews and the write-ups for our presentations today. Thank you, Megan. I know Megan loves when I often recognize her, but she doesn't. But we would need a quiet office without her, and we appreciate everything that she does. So, and of course, thank you to Jesse, who is here from James Photography. Again, a reminder for all of our award recipients, if we can grab you up front, grab your award and come on up front, we'll take some photos. And of course, thank you to Fiddle Event for being our breakfast sponsor, but an ongoing supporter of the Chamber and our community for all 135 years. So thank you. It is a good day to have a good day, so we look forward to seeing you at our next breakfast on December 7th. It's a Thursday, and it's going to be at 7th. So, December 7th, walk in, there's no reminder. Have a wonderful day, everybody.